This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Dunlap welcoming you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And today's birthday boy is one of the longest tenured coaches in NBA history, and not just right now. It's Greg Popovich. He is amazing. This guy has been coach of the Spurs since 1996, since the Michael Jordan days. He's called Pop, and basically he's head coach and president of the San Antonio Spurs. He took over as coach at age 47. He's only 72 now. Wow. Can't believe he's 72. I thought he'd be like in his 80s. He has the most wins in NBA history, regular season plus playoffs, surpassing Lenny Wilkins and Don Nelson in 2019. He has led the Spurs to a winning record in each of his 22 full seasons as head coach, not even once going below 500, surpassing Phil Jackson for the most consecutive winning seasons in NBA history. The Spurs have had a winning record against every other NBA team, obviously, and Popovich led Spurs to 5 NBA titles, and only one of 5 coaches to get 5 or more. Popovich had a weird thing. His parents both were from the former Republic of Yugoslavia, a Serbian father and a Croatian mother. So basically, he had a bachelor's degree in Soviet studies. That's a little suspicious. And went Air Force training. He almost went to the CIA. He served active duty in the Air Force and toured Eastern Europe with the basketball team. He almost got to the 1972 Olympics. He was given a chance to be part of the basketball team in the trials, but he didn't make the cut for Munich. So anyway, he decided to be an assistant coach with the Air Force basketball team. He decided to attend the University of Denver and get his master's in physical education and sports sciences. That's pretty good. He was a head coach of a South Carolina college. He was actually made to be the lead assistant coach of the Spurs during the '88 season, and was elevated to be the Browns' top assistant. So yeah, that was huge. Popovich became the GM and vice president of basketball operations in '94 after a new owner stepped in. Popovich decided to get Avery Johnson as the starting point guard, and one of his other major moves was to get rid of Dennis Rodman to Chicago for Will Perdue. That did not work out well for San Antonio because Will Perdue was nothing, and Dennis Rodman won a few titles with the Bulls. After the Spurs were 3-15 in the 96-97 season, David Robinson had injuries. Popovich decided to fire Bob Hill, the coach, and name himself the coach. Unfortunately, the Spurs sucked that year. The Spurs were 20-62 overall. However, the Spurs did win the draft lottery and got Tim Duncan out of Wake Forest, so that was good. A lot of people said San Antonio might have tanked. But anyway, the Spurs blossomed because Tim Duncan at 6'11" teamed up with the 7'1" David Robinson in a twin tower offense and defense for several years. After recovering to win 56 wins in the first full season Popovich was coach, the Spurs won their title in '99 by taking down the Cinderella New York Knicks in 5 games. Popovich decided not to be coaching GM in 2002. He gave up his GM spot to R.C. Buford. Popovich is a 5-time champion with the Spurs. The '99 one against the Knicks, 2003 when they took down the New Jersey Nets, 2005 when they took down the defending champion Detroit Pistons, 2007 when they took down LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and in 2014 when they took down the Miami Heat, who were looking for a three-peat. It's amazing how the Spurs won 4 of their 5 titles in odd-numbered years. Well, he's coach of the year in 03, 12, and 14. Popovich returned to the U.S. Air Force to get the Academy's Award of Distinguished Graduate in 2008. The problem with Popovich was that he ran afoul of policy. In November 2012, Popovich sat out his starters for a national televised game against Miami. Popovich did sit out his starters on road trips over the years to ensure they have enough rest for the playoffs, and the Spurs did have an old roster. However, Commissioner Stern was outraged and said it was unacceptable. And Stern's fined the Spurs $250,000. I guess mostly because it was on a national TV thing. According to Stern, Popovich did not inform the league or media in a suitable time frame that they would not make the trip to Miami. But in the end, Popovich kind of got less sympathizers, and basically commentators said that Stern didn't care about the realities of the league, just appearances. To him, the appearance on Thursday night was that Popovich was trying to embarrass him on national TV. However, Popovich would lead the Spurs to the NBA Finals that same year, but the Spurs lost in the finals to Miami. It could have been different if Ray Allen had not sunk that three-pointer in Game 6 to extend Game 6. The Spurs would have had that title. Popovich in 2015 was the 9th coach ever to win 1,000 games in NBA history. But more important than that, he and Jerry Sloan were the only two coaches in NBA history to win 1,000 games with one franchise, Sloan with the Jazz. Popovich did well for 2016, leading the Spurs to 67 wins, but Oklahoma City shocked them in the playoffs. Popovich in February 2017 recorded his 1,128th regular season win with one franchise, surpassing Sloan. And April 2019, he beat Lenny Wilkens for the most wins in NBA history by a coach with regular season and playoffs combined, 1,413. I don't know how many regular season games is he back of the championship. Anyway, Popovich served on a few coaching staffs that weren't really that good and all that, an international thing. Popovich was married to someone named Erin until her death in April 2018. The couple had 2 children. He's a wine collector. He's really criticized Donald Trump and it's done some humanitarian work. Nice. So yeah, the guy freaking has done so well for himself. 1,277 wins in this season, in his career, not in the regular season. But can you imagine the Spurs after all that? Every year he's been a full-time head coach. The Spurs have been above 500. Unfortunately, though, 2020 would break that slump because Popovich had never missed the playoffs with the Spurs. The Spurs have never missed the playoffs since the Tim Duncan debacle. But the COVID-shortened year of 2019-20 ruined it for San Antonio. It was weird not seeing San Antonio in the playoffs because that's huge. 23 straight years in the playoffs. That's something equatable to the Detroit Red Wings in the 90s and 2000s. That would be akin to, well, I don't know. Baseball, it's hard to have streaks of 20 years in the playoffs. I don't think that's been done. And football, that's rarely done. Even 10 years. It's hard to believe. Well, for the Patriot fans. But yeah, he's a great coach. I know he has troubles with the interferers and all that, but he's a serious coach. What can you expect? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.